Okay, CAINE chapter 7, let's go. Today is the day. With my bag in tow, I'm going to go to my old college and hold a small presentation about owning your own boutique. I'm really excited. I brought my portfolio, a few pieces I've made before, and I'm ready to answer any questions anyone will fire at me. On my way over to the Art Institute of CAINE, I reminisce about my college days, which weren't too long ago, but it makes me nostalgic nonetheless. Long days spent in the workroom, sewing, fitting, and doing it all over again. I kind of miss it. I'd really like to see Professor Berg again, since he's helped me so much in my fashion. Once I step foot on the campus, I'm immediately taken... Sorry, just started saying something about my laptop on Steam. I'm immediately taken back to when I still went to college here and stayed at the dorms, when Sarah was my roommate and we had loads of fun together. Campus is busy and full of people, so I worm my way through the crowd towards the main building where my presentation is being held. At the entry, I'm greeted by a familiar face. Miss Hearth, it's Professor Berg. Wow. Fancy that. Hello, I greet him back. It's so nice to see you could make it. Why don't I escort you to the lecture hall? I'm nervous, but so excited as well. Professor Berg leads me to the lecture hall, passing by students on our way there. How's it going with your boutique so far? He asks me. I've got everything set up, and while I'm not making any profit just yet, I do get more customers each day. Sounds like it's going well then, he says with a nod. I've always had high hopes for you, Hearth. I blush a little at the compliment. Oh, thanks, Professor Berg. I hope I exceed your expectations. If there's anyone who can do it, it's you. Now shall we head to the lecture hall? I take in a deep breath. You can do this, Valkii. Let's. The sun is bright and warm when I step outside onto the campus again. Students are sitting down on the grassy field, studying and chatting with friends. The lecture is finally over. It lasted for an hour. There was a large group of people in the lecture hall that listened to me. I was so nervous, but I pulled through. I talked about my creative process, how to start your own business, how to make a name for yourself. I tried to cover as much in the little time I was afforded. I feel exhausted now. I'm ready to go home. It really does feel nostalgic coming back here. Suddenly, a person bumps into me, causing me to drop my bag to the ground, spilling all of its contents. I bend down to pick up some of my stuff, like my wallet and my keys. The person who bumped into me leans down to help me gather my stuff as well. So, why? CAINE's eyes widen. You, he exclaims loudly, standing up and pointing a finger at me. Wait, what is CAINE doing here? I grumble something under my breath as I'm left to collect my things on my own. Are you some kind of stalker? CAINE demands. Is that what he thinks this is? I glare at him as I reach for my notepad. Of course not. Why are you here? This is my college and I'm pretty... There's something wrong with my laptop. This is my college and I'm pretty sure you're not a student here either, so what are you doing here, spying on me? CAINE scoffs at me. Do you think I follow you around for fun? I say with a sigh. Yes, he replies, completely serious. Why else would you be here? Well, whatever you think... whatever. You keep thinking like that. I'm here to do real business. I don't need to waste my time on small fry like you. I roll my eyes at him. Small fry? Oh no, he's got a complex. Is it because I'm short? Drink some more milk, I fire at him, annoyed he's ruining my mood by claiming I'm stalking him. Oh, just get off my campus. Stop following me around. I stick out my tongue at him. It's a free country. I can do what I want. You're not even a student here, he protests. Doesn't matter. Professor Berg asked me personally to drop by. I've got an excuse. What's yours? CAINE stuffs his hands into his pockets, giving me a stink eye. Whatever. Are you going to help me pick up my stuff or not? I finally ask and gesture towards my belongings on the ground. CAINE clicks his tongue and kicks his foot against the ground, making it obvious he doesn't want to help me out. I grab my portfolio, grumbling under my breath that he isn't going to help. But then he's suddenly at eye level with me. I'm staring right into his eyes. He blinks, then looks away, handing me a couple of papers that were thrown about. He seems a bit apprehensive. I accept them, neatly stacking the papers containing my designs and storing them in my portfolio. How are your knees? He asks a bit bashfully. I'm surprised he would even ask. My battle scars are healing up quite nicely. CAINE snorts at my comment of calling them battle scars. There's even a tiny hint of a smile on his face. It looks rather nice on him. You design? CAINE asks as he hands me over another piece of paper. Yes, I went to college here for fashion design. I own the boutique you delivered drinks at. Oh, didn't realize you were the owner. CAINE looks down at the ground as he scratches his nose. What's your major? I ask out of politeness. Metalwork, he says. CAINE finally hands me the last thing left on the ground. Before I can thank him for his help, CAINE suddenly springs upright, his eyes widening slightly. He then takes off without saying a word. I frown at his back, shrinking into the distance. What in the world was that about? It's like he saw a monster behind me and ran away. I pick myself up from the ground and make sure I didn't leave anything behind. However, I spot a pencil case of mine on the ground still. Another hand picks up my pencil case right as I reach for it. Hello? Here you go, he says. I kindly accept it and stuff it in my bag. Thank you, at least some people still have some manners. Ah, yeah, I saw you run into CAINE just now. I study the young man in front of me, spiky hairstyle, fashionable clothes. He's staring at me with curiosity. I don't recognize it must be another student here on campus. Are you two friends? I ask. No, he hastily denies. We're not really... He kicks his foot against the ground, sulking. He looks a bit dejected. I wonder why. Well, I'm not a friend of CAINE's either, if that's what you're wondering about. He shakes his head. I don't think anyone here is. Before I can question him further, I wonder what he meant by that. Wondering what he meant by that, he suddenly grows all shy and starts to mumble something under his breath. I saw your designs in your presentation. They were really cool. Oh, you saw my presentation? I ask him cheerfully. I'm so glad someone thought positively of it. Not expecting my reaction, his eyes simply grow wide and he starts to stammer his words. Yeah, he clears his throat. Your designs are really cool. I like them. He flashes me this cute and bashful smile. Oh, thanks. That makes me happy, I say, feeling pride swell up in my heart. Though the green one was a bit odd. I raise my eyebrows at him. Odd? Oh, it reminded me of, something I saw. Are you familiar with this website called Daisy Hearth? I see my old Professor Berg running after me, interrupting my conversation with the young man. Thank goodness I could still catch up to you. You forgot this, he says as he hands me over my agenda. I'm just losing everything today. Oh, thank you so much. Without this, I'd be a mess with planning. I quickly stuff the agenda in my purse. The professor looks over at the young man, giving him a nod. Sterling, how are you? I'm fine, Professor Berg. Kevin Sterling here is a student majoring in fashion, much like you did. Miss Hearth's a great role model to have. The boy named Kevin slowly starts to get a pink hue on his cheeks. I'm sure she is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to class. Kevin trips over his feet as he tries to scramble away from the two of us, then quickly runs away. Huh, I wonder what that was all about. Was he going to ask me if I knew about the website Daisy Dots? It sounded like it. Feel free to come back. We'd love to have you around again, says Professor Berg. I'll think about it, but now I have to get back to work, I say with a smile. We both bid our goodbyes and walk away from each other. As I continue walking down campus, I realize I've gotten a bit famished. I wonder if I can visit the canteen and get something to eat there before I leave. I'm going to run into CAINE again. There are a bunch of students eating in the canteen. Their conversations are lively and loud. I feel like I'm back at college again. I could fit right in. I managed to score myself a really nice chicken sandwich. It used to be my favourite meal here. I've kind of missed it. I do love me a chicken sandwich. As I look around for a spot to sit and enjoy my lunch, I notice CAINE sticking out like a sore thumb among the sea of students. He's sitting at the far back in the corner, all alone at the table, eating his lunch. Oh, why is he all alone? Didn't that spiky-head guy say something like that no one is friends with CAINE? Seeing him poke at his food while leaning his chin on top of his hand makes my heart ache for him. When I was still in college, I had Sarah to hang out with. I was never really alone. However, I can't imagine how lonely it must feel not to have anyone to talk to. I feel a strong urge to walk up to him, my feet having a mind of their own as I wade through the other students. CAINE doesn't notice me at all as I approach his table. I take a seat on the other side of the table, putting my sandwich and purse down as well. CAINE finally looks up, his brows knitted together in confusion. With his mouth hanging open like that, he looks a bit like a fish out of water. Ignoring his obvious stare, I unwrap plastic from the sandwich and sink my teeth into the bread, taking the first bite. Ah, it's so good. I do love me some bread, tiger bread in particular. What do you want? CAINE sneers at me. Don't you have somewhere you need to be? Can't I enjoy lunch as well? I fire back. Then I take another bite of my sandwich and munch on it, staring at him as if to make a point. CAINE taps his fingers onto the table, not touching his food. Has anyone ever told you that you're like a cockroach you can't get rid of? Asks CAINE. I stop chewing. He's comparing me to a cockroach. How rude, I say with a mouthful of chicken. Don't compare me with such an unsanitary bug. How about a dung beetle then? CAINE offers. I grip my teeth. Only if I can call you a shrimp. CAINE purses his lips, glaring at me for my remark. Well, he started the name calling. To think I was feeling sorry for him just a minute ago, I should have known he'd give me attitude. I take another bite of my delicious sandwich. By the way, why'd you run away with your tail between your legs? I ask. He ran off without saying a word when he helped me out. I wonder if something is bothering him. Huh? CAINE looks confused. What do you mean with my tail between my legs? Well, you took off without saying a word. How else should I describe it? A light bulb goes off as CAINE understands what I'm talking about. That's nothing, he deflects grouchily. I couldn't even say thank you, you were gone so fast. I don't need your thanks. Seriously though, why are you here? He asks as he folds his arms across his chest. He's so grumpy. Why can't he let loose a little? Maybe I can cheer him up a bit. Do I really need a reason other than to enjoy the magnificence that is this chicken sandwich? Dear God, I've missed this so much. You can never get them grilled and breaded like this anywhere else. Kane's eye twitches. I don't care about your stupid sandwich. I hold my sandwich close to my body, protecting it from Kane's hurtful comments. Shh, it can hear you. Don't be stupid, it's a sandwich, he argues back. My precious, I say, stroking the bread with my fingers. Kaine looks visibly creeped out. You're disgusting. Stop making love with a goddamn sandwich. I'll let you have a bite if you ask nicely. I'm not touching that shit with a 10-foot pole, he immediately replies. It's the best you'll ever have. Try it. I move the sandwich towards Kaine. Kaine deflects the sandwich with the back of his hand. Don't go shoving that in people's faces, he barks. Come on, try it. It'll cheer you up, I say in a sing-song voice, hovering the sandwich near his mouth. Kaine's face is starting to get redder from being so annoyed. Stop bugging me already. Kaine finally slaps the sandwich away this time, knocking it out of my hand, and it lands with a thud on the table. Immediately I realize I've gone too far with my teasing and I sit down in silence. I was just trying to cheer him up. He looked so sad before, sitting all alone, but I guess I overstepped my boundaries here. Alright, sorry, I'll leave, I say. I take my sandwich from the table and gather my belongings before I stand up. Then I turn around and quickly walk away from him. 'Cause he's a rude bitch. Back at the boutique, I've told Sarah to drop by so I can give her my present. Aw, thanks so much, Sarah says with a big smile. Do you like it? I wasn't quite sure if you'd use it or not. The clerk at the camera store said every photographer should have one. Sarah shakes the camera lens cleaning box at me. Of course, lenses need to be cleaned, especially the mirror, which can sometimes catch some dust when you change lenses. One speck of dust can destroy an entire picture. I nod, pretending to follow along. Right, it's not that hard to follow along with. Sarah looks pleased, so I'm happy with the purchase. How's your business coming along, I ask her. Just like me, Sarah has started her own business. She's a photographer specializing in portraits and even fashion. It was going slow for a while, but I managed to net a client this time that wants me to shoot her wedding. Wow, your first wedding. I'm excited for her. Yeah, it'll be exciting for sure. I've never done a wedding before, but I'm sure I can pull it off. The client saw my pictures on another website and asked if I'd be available. So, when are you getting married? I ask jokingly. Sarah grins at me. Why, are you proposing? Does a cleaning kit count as an engagement ring? I ask. It does if you offer it to a photographer. Then I guess I'm proposing. Both Sarah and I laugh at our silliness. I've missed hanging out with her. I've been so busy lately and Sarah has as well. It's not like it used to be back in college when we were roommates and spent so much time together. Now we have to make time for each other, which is a little sad. The wedding is in July, so I've got plenty of time to prepare. The client sounded like she had a lot of cash to spend though, so it's going to be a huge wedding. Ah, fairy tale like wedding. That sounds so dreamy. I'd love to design my own wedding dress. Of course you think about the dress first and not about who you'll be marrying, Sarah points out. Classic Valkii. Hey, are you saying I'm not romantic? Sarah shrugs. I'm just wondering who'd want to marry you. You can be quite demanding. I pout at her. That's a blow to my ego. Don't say that. I'm not going to end up an old spinster. Let's hope not. Met anyone cute lately? Sarah asks with a laugh. I did see someone at our old college the other day. Oh right, you had to do that presentation thing. How did that go? Went alright, it was fun. Makes me miss going to college, you know? Sarah sighs. I know what you mean. The real world is much less fun when you've got adult responsibilities to take care of. I do like living on my own though, I say with a giggle. Hey, you didn't like living with me? Sarah pouts at me. Was I a bad roommate? Nah, you were the worst, I say sarcastically, but it's good to be on my own. So who did you meet at college? Actually, I think you'd be into him, I say. I recall Sarah having a thing for red eyes and people who gel their hair in ridiculous ways. Now she looks interested. Tell me more. Tall, red eyes, orange spiked hair, seems to be fashionable, had a cute smile. Damn it, why am I a working adult? I want to go back to college, Sarah complains. So many cute guys there. My mind wanders over to Caine, the red-headed loner. I try to push my thoughts away. It's not like he and I were ever friends. I don't need to deal with him anymore. By the way, I signed up for Fashion Week, I mentioned, changing the subject. Right, that's great. You have to come up with your own line, don't you? I nod at her. Yep, there'll be a ton of people there, even celebrities, and I have to cast models. That should be fun. Judging people on their appearance. Yes, that does sound like a lot of fun. Sarah grins mischievously. I wonder if I can manage to get myself a backstage pass so I can take pictures, Sarah wonders. Try looking on their website. If you get in early, you might get a spot. Yeah, I will, Sarah flashes me a confident smile. Anyways, I should go now. I need to edit a picture of someone's dog. Sounds absolutely riveting, I joke. Sarah rolls her eyes at me. I'll remember that. She bids her goodbye and leaves the boutique. It felt good to have a little chat with her. I'm glad I bought her that present. Doot. Alright. Yeah, my character has white hair now, just for fun. I really like white hair and red eyes. But it doesn't show up in pictures, does it? I sketched some designs in my sketchbook for the upcoming fashion week, feeling inspired all of a sudden. I need to come up with at least 10 suitable designs. I think I'm going to go with the theme of, I look around my store. What kind of idea should I go for? I hold the tip of my pencil against my sketchbook, but I'm unable to come up with anything. The doorbell rings and I look up from the counter. It's that spiky-haired boy from before. Hello, I greet him. Wait, how does he know I work here? Hi, he says as he approaches the counter quite timidly. He's looking around the boutique with curious eyes. Remember me? He asks, pointing a finger at himself. Yes. I totally forgot his name though. It's Kevin. Kevin Spiky. I'm Kevin. You said your boutique was called Olympus, so I decided to come check it out, he explains. Oh, of course, I'm stupid. I did mention Olympus's name during the lecture. How could I forget? He shyly looks away. I'm a second year, so this is really inspiring to me. He's so adorable. Does that mean he looks up to me? I'm suddenly feeling this adult persona rise up inside of me. I'd love to mentor someone. Well, if I can do it, so can you. I cheer him on with a smile. I'm totally broke though, he says with a defeated smile. I wouldn't be able to start anything just yet. Yeah, that is the sad truth. You need to have money to earn more money. Kevin looks at one of my mannequins, studying the garment being displayed. I walk up to the mannequin, touching the dress with my hands. Do you like it? I ask him. Yeah, he says, acting all flustered. It's cute. Oh, is that weird for a guy to say? He looks away. I shake my head. No, of course not. Kinda want to introduce him to Sarah. Physically, he's totally her type. I'm not sure about his personality, though. Sarah has a thing for bad boys. Kevin seems to be the opposite of that. Kevin leans in closer to the dress, staring at the hemline of the skirt. He lifts it up, holding it in between his fingers to better see the stitching. He muses. What is it? I ask, curious as to what he's looking at. This is a machine stitch, no? He asks. Yes, that's correct. Wouldn't it be better to use a hand stitch here? I frown at him. Not when the fabric is stretchy like this one, see? I hold the fabric and tug at it a little, showing that it stretches. Kevin drops the hemline and awkwardly rubs the back of his neck with an apologetic smile. Hehehe, I guess I shouldn't question the professional. I'm only a second year after all. I smile at him. You'll learn soon enough. So, how do you know CAINE? Kevin asks. I'm a bit surprised he'd ask me that out of nowhere. I don't really know him. I met him at a party. Why? Are you friends with him? Kevin shakes his head. No, we're not. He's, He looks to the side. He doesn't like me. To be fair, I don't think he likes anyone. He's kind of a grump, I point out. I know, Kevin agrees with a stilted chuckle. I try being friends with him, but he just brushes me off. Why do you want to be his friend so much? Do you have a crush on him? I ask, eyeing him suspiciously. Not like that, he yelps. That just makes me more suspicious. Crap, if he's gay, then there's no point in introducing him to Sarah. I should remain optimistic, though. He could be bi, or not interested in Sarah at all. Like, just not interested in that at all. Who knows? Do you know what he does? What he makes? Kevin asks with a sigh. I'm unsure what you mean. He makes jewellery, the finest I've laid my eyes on so far. You know that when we graduate, we have to come up with a final line to showcase, right? I nod my head. I want the models to wear CAINE's jewellery. They're just too good. But he won't listen to you. Kevin hangs his head in defeat, giving me a tiny nod. Yep, he avoids any type of socialization. I can't even get him to say hello to me, let alone ask him for a favour. Then his eyes start to sparkle as he looks at me. But you, on the other hand, it seems he doesn't mind you very much. You can get me in. I've only met CAINE a handful of times. I don't even have his contact information. The last time we met, I'm pretty sure my presence was unwelcome. Well, I'm not sure how much help I'd be. I've only met him a couple of times and I don't think he likes me very much. Are you kidding me? I saw you having a full-blown conversation with him before I ran into you. He's never even said hello to me. Yeah, we're not on the best of terms either. But I guess I can try to get us all together? Because then I can introduce Sarah to him. Even if I don't end up running into CAINE anymore, I can still maybe get my best friend a date. Really? Thanks, I'd appreciate it. We exchange contact info. I'm sure I could set something up for Sarah. Not so sure about CAINE. Who knows if I'll ever see him again, but Kevin doesn't seem to question my motives. Text me if anything comes up, Kevin says cheerfully. I'll try, I say with a smile. Oh right, I wanted to ask you the other day. Do you know the website called Daisy Dots? I stare at him blankly. Of course I know that website. I moderate the forums. Why would Kevin know about it? Yes, why? I knew it, he says with a nod. I thought I recognized one of your designs. You post on the forum, no? Suddenly I remember the troll on the forum and narrow my eyes at him. If Kevin knows that's me, who exactly is he? I do, but how do you know? Are you a member as well? Kevin scratches his cheek. Well, then he quickly backs away from the counter. I need to go now. Bye. Kevin dashes out of my boutique. That was highly suspicious. Kevin knows I post on Daisy Dots. He recognized my designs. He could just be an innocent member as well, but he could also be that troll, Menenemy. I don't think so. Why would he out himself like that? That's really weird logic. I stare at his phone number on my phone, wondering if I really should be introducing him to Sarah. This is the worst. It looks like a murder scene down in my panties. Oh, that's a shame. I sigh out loud and throw the pair away in the trash. They're completely ruined. Seems my period came suddenly and I wasn't prepared. I've got no tampons or pads lying around. Why? Why? Why do you not have a supply? Like, at least one packet? That's wild to me. But I guess we need an excuse to go to the convenience store. I guess I'll just use toilet paper for now. I mean, we've all been there, to be fair. I dread knowing I may run into CAINE, but it's the closest store and I had a surprise bloodbath in my panties, so I need to get some pads. I hate that word. I brace myself as I walk through the electric sliding doors. Like a ninja, I dash through the aisles, hoping I don't run into him again. Seems he works mostly night shifts, so I'm extra careful. I hope he's not working today. I know I promised Kevin I'd talk to him or something, but I prefer not to talk to the little thief whilst my ovaries are currently crying in pain. What's his music? Loud voices startle me and I almost jump out of my own skin. A group of people are laughing, making quite a racket in the store. Must be drunk teenagers or something. I'll just avoid them. I don't need anything from the liquor aisle, only my hygiene products. Then I hear even more boisterous laughter. Come on, I thought you said you'd do anything for me, taunts a female voice. I bet he still thinks he's got a shot, ha ha ha, laughs someone else. This feels very much like a repeat from that time I saw CAINE getting bullied by a group of guys. Couldn't be that again, right? I peek my head around the corner of the aisle and spot the exact same three guys from before. This time there's a girl with them as well. CAINE is pushed up against the snack aisle. He looks pale and isn't talking. Thomas grips CAINE's shoulder, plucking the fabric off his sweater. Little loser CAINE, still wearing garbage bags, I see. I bet he'll show up in literal garbage bags at the reunion, scoffs the girl. This little shit doesn't even have the balls to come. He won't even look at me. Thomas leans down to peer into CAINE's face. He's obviously much taller and more muscular than CAINE, who's trembling before him. Do you, CAINE? Do you have balls, or did you lose them during puberty? The other two guys snicker in response. Short and no balls, huffs Thomas. Hey, leave him alone, I snarl at them and stand in front of CAINE. I know he's a little rough and can be quite rude, but I can't stand for this group bullying. Picking on one kid with everyone isn't fair. Who are you? Stay out of it, says the guy. CAINE is stammering behind me at a loss of words. I bet she's his babysitter, says the girl with a laugh. He has to pay people to hang out with him. I glare at the girl. That's such a low blow. No one is paying me, but I bet you could use a few babysitting jobs, because obviously you don't earn enough money to buy yourself some nice clothes. I snap back at her before I know it. Damn. The girl turns bright red at my insult and she immediately shuts her mouth. How dare you insult my designer clothes? Designer? I thought you fished them out of the dumpster behind the $1 store. My quick-witted insults leave the girl fuming on the spot as she's unable to retaliate. Ha, doesn't feel so good now that someone does it back to you, does it? Who the hell are you and why are you butting in? She yells at me. There's movement behind me and suddenly CAINE's hand slips into mine and he grips it tightly. I can feel him shaking from nerves. Wait, what is he doing? He steps in front of me, facing the girl head on. This is my girlfriend, and she's going to have the best dress at the reunion. It'll make yours look like it came from a swamp, he hisses at her. I whirl around to stare at him wide-eyed and tug on his hand hard. Girlfriend? The girl scoffs. No one believes you got yourself a girlfriend. CAINE yanks on my hand and I stumble towards him. Excuse me? Why is she wearing something so fancy to go to the convenience store? Our lips meet. I'm quite literally shocked, so much that I can't move. My eyes are wide in surprise and I'm unable to do anything at the moment. CAINE presses his lips against mine even harder, causing me to stumble backwards. His eyes are squeezed shut and I can feel him trembling against my lips. He's kissing me. Then he pulls back, facing the group of bullies with a glare. That's your girlfriend? Thomas looks genuinely shocked. Ah man, I can't believe CAINE scored someone as hot as her, mumbles the other guy. The girl stomps on the ground, then elbows the guy in his ribs. She growls at us, clearly annoyed. Fine, we'll see about that at the reunion then. She turns on her heel. Come on guys, we're leaving. They all mumble as they walk past us towards the exit of the convenience store. I'm left alone with CAINE. CAINE lets out a relieved sigh. Our hands are still locked, but that's mostly because he's got a death grip on my hand and I'm starting to feel numb. CAINE, you're hurting me. He promptly lets go of my hand, shaking it off as if he's suddenly realized he's touched a hot stove. I'm a bit speechless, which doesn't happen very often. CAINE avoids my eyes, then stuffs his hands into his pockets and kicks at the floor with his foot. CAINE, please explain to me why you suddenly just kissed me and why you said I was your girlfriend before I slap you. He backs away from me in fear, his eyes shifty and looking at everything besides me. I'm pretty ticked off that he thought he could suddenly kiss me without any consequences. CAINE doesn't say anything, however. He just casts his gaze onto the floor and stands there, shoulders slumped and hands in his pockets. CAINE, I growl. It was just in the spur of the moment, he sputters quickly, while holding up his hands in defense. You thought it was a great idea to kiss me, I demand. Yeah, no, I mean, yes. CAINE runs his fingers through his hair, messing them up even more. I'm confused. Being confused doesn't give you the right to assault me, I say through gritted teeth. CAINE points his shaky finger at me. It's your fault. What? How? You provoked them. You insulted Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea, that's her name? Now an otherwise really nice name leaves a bitter aftertaste in my mouth. I pull my face into a scowl. So what? Chelsea was insulting you as far as I can recall. But that still doesn't explain why you kissed me. No one gave you permission to. CAINE's face suddenly starts turning a very deep shade of red. He slowly bites his lips, taking his sweet time before he answers me. Chelsea was a girl that I liked back in high school, he says softly. I stare at him with a blank look on my face. Do I look like I care? You wanted an explanation, then listen. God, you're so impossible sometimes. Nobody's got time for your high school drama. You... CAINE glares at me and bites down on his lip as if he's holding himself back. Don't you ever listen, he snaps at me. Fine, I'm listening. Not really. My hand is itching to slap him. Whatever, I didn't want them to think I was still hung up on her, so I kissed you in front of everyone. Happy now? Yeah, wait, give me a second. I slap CAINE across the face. There, now I'm happy. CAINE holds his cheek, incredulous that I'd slapped him. You... He sighs. Fine, I guess I deserved that. Now, what's this thing about a reunion? How did I get roped into this? Once more, CAINE starts to blush. Like I said, it was a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing. I just wanted to show them that you didn't like this Chelsea anymore. I finish his sentence. Right. Alright, I've heard enough. High school drama. I'm too old for that kind of bullshit. Okay, well, good luck with that. I turn around, ready to leave the store. Bitch, your hygiene products. Your hygiene products. Wait, CAINE shouts as he yanks on my arm to prevent me from leaving. What? I breathe out at him in an exasperated voice. CAINE looks at his hand that's holding onto my arm. He's conflicted about something, and embarrassed. Definitely embarrassed. I need you to come to this reunion with me. I can't show up without you now. That's not really my problem, is it? I point out. It's not my fault CAINE decided to declare to everyone that I'm his girlfriend and kiss me in front of them. I had no say in this. He's on his own here. Please, I beg you, he whines. They'd torment me even more if I showed up alone or not at all. They expect me to be there now. CAINE looks away, his pride clearly hurt being forced to admit something like this. I take a second to think about my situation. Ever since we've met, CAINE has caused me nothing but grief. Stealing things, being rude to me, kissing me, I barely even know him. But I feel bad for him. This is the second time I've seen him getting harassed at his workplace, not to mention I promised Kevin I'd talk to CAINE and I really want Kevin to meet Sarah. Ugh, what am I getting myself into? I'll go, I declare. CAINE's eyes widen, looking baffled that I agreed. Really? But, I start. But, you have to hang out with me when I ask you to. He gives me this long sideways stare, mulling it over in his head. I can tell he's trying to come up with any ulterior motive I may have, since he doesn't trust me at all. You're weird, he says eventually. I'm the weird one? I scoff. Have you looked into the mirror lately? All I'd see is a loser anyway, he says in a self-deprecating way. I'm shocked he'd say this about himself, but before I can get a word in, he continues on. But whatever, fine, I'll accept your stupid conditions, but you'll have to pretend to be 100% in love with me, completely. I sigh loudly. Seems impossible, but I'll try. CAINE sticks out his hand. Deal? I look at it for a second, wondering what kind of mess I'm about to get myself into. I'm doing this for Sarah's love life. I take his hand and shake it. Lady, you're too invested in your friend's love life. Deal. Then I quickly drop his clammy hand and look away. By the way, I need some pads. CAINE's face contorts into a grimace. You could have at least made him cool with that. Just saying. and we'll see you in the next one.